go camping. You know, that's kind of more my style. So bleachers for sure.
Fair enough. Let's see here. What do you do to keep yourself entertained on a long drive? Obviously, you're all over the place, here, there,
well, you know,
long trip,
it's interesting actually. This question is great for me because I drove around the country for like 6 months, you know, years ago. This was like probably 2002. So you start by listening to music, but 6 months of nothing but listening to music, you know, even for an avid music lover, gets a little tough. So I literally would end up getting books on tape. You know, you sometimes flip out and talk to yourself. You know, I can admit that too. So you really kind of run the gamut on things that you can think of to do to kind of entertain, just entertain yourself for that amount of time. It's kind of scary.
Myself, I sang myself hoarse.
Yeah, man. You sing whatever it takes, man, to make the hours pass.
It's a tough one. Now, election time's coming up. Care to say who you're behind or how you'd like to come out?
Sure. No, I mean, I'm behind Barack Obama.
Illinois?
Definitely. You know, he's from Illinois. That's not why. But you know, it helps. But you know, I'm not a Democrat, you know, registered in that way or anything. But I generally tend to side kind of more on that side. You know, the whole religious skew that the Republican Party has taken has kind of thrown me off for a loop for a little while.
Does it bother you that many people voting that are just a little bit younger than us have never known anybody but a Bush or a Clinton in office?
It's scary. You know, it's very, very scary. You realize, you know, we're not old guys by any stretch of the imagination, but you start to realize, you know, how many people in this country really are young and just have only known a couple things. You know, it's very, very, very interesting. Even in poker, you know, we travel around and the kids come up to us, and you know, for a long time it was weird to me that kids were born in the 80s. You know, but now kids are being born in the 90s. You know, a kid that was born in the 90s is, you know, what, 17 at this point, or 18 at this point. I mean, it's unbelievable.
You see the class of '08 patch on a jacket or something, and you just kind of go...
It's scary, man, but there are a lot of kids, and, you know, I mean, it's kind of the old cliche, but they will end up leading the world and taking on all this stuff, so it really is, it's an interesting transition to kind of be on the precipice between one and the other, and that's kind of where we are now.
If you could appoint one person that was in your power to say you are the President of the United States right now, who would it be?
You know, I like Barack right now. I think, you know, I hate to say this, I think my pops, you know, would make a very good and fair, you know, president. He definitely raised me in a lot of very, very positive ways, and his values, you know, he certainly instilled in me. And I was a huge fan of Bill Clinton. You know, I think that he did a great job, and so what if he got, you know, whatever it was, you know, it's all right, you know. He did a great job. I wouldn't have minded if Bill Clinton just stayed in office for another 12, 15 years.
If Barry Greenstein was appointed president by you, would the Senate and Congress be able to take the amount of criticism that would be heaped upon them?
They'd all be crying. What they would do is they would have, you know, at the end of every session, they would just have people outside, you know, like stress, you know, counselors, therapists, you know, who would sit down with all the different congressmen and senators and, you know, and work through their feelings that Barry has brought up. You know, he's really good at doing that kind of thing.
That's not too bad. All right. Kicking along a little bit farther, which is worse, bestiality or slow rolling?
Wow, I'm going to have to say slow. No, I think bestiality is, well, define worse. I mean, you know, if some guy wants to hang out with a goat, it's not my thing, but hey, you know, who am I to say it's not right? You know what I'm saying? But slow rolling is, you know, it's evil. It's born from the devil's, you know, bosom. It's not right. So it's hard to say.
March Madness or college bowl games?
That is actually really tough. That is very, 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 very tough. I'm going to say now college bowl games.
Right.
But back in the day, I would say March Madness. You know, I would stay home from classes, and, you know, all my friends would come over and we would watch, especially when you're in school, you know, and your team is actually in the tournament.
Right.
That's a blast. But nowadays it's a little tougher to do that, but we can always sneak away for one game to go to a bowl game. So I'd say that.
Who has the most tolerable body odor of the Poker Road crew?
Tolerable?
Tolerable body odor.
I think I have to say Amanda. Otherwise I'll be in trouble.
True.
I'll be punished. So we'll say Amanda.
We could follow that line of questioning.
We could. We could delve deeper. There's no question about it. We definitely could delve deeper.
All right. So I'm going to go through the next part is the lightning round. This is the finish up of the whole bit. What's happened here is basically you're forced to pick between one of two opponents in each selection to play heads up in an all your money death match in whatever game you like.
Gotcha.
Here it comes.
Okay.
Hillary Clinton or Barack Obama?
Hillary Clinton.
Hillary Clinton. And you can give any reasoning.
And this is who I want to play against.
This is who you want to play against, and why, if you want to say.
Well, you know, Barack is too smooth. It's obvious. I mean, he would get in my head, and despite him lacking in skill, he would talk me out of my chips, and I wouldn't be comfortable with it.
Fair enough. Mother Teresa or Gandhi?
Wow, that is brutal. I would rather play Gandhi because, I mean, it's obvious he's going to be thinking about eating. So his mind's not going to be on the game, so he's not going to be able to focus.
Britney Spears or Paris Hilton?
I think you have to go with Paris Hilton. Britney's liable to pull an umbrella or a shotgun out from under the table and just take care of you, and then just take your chips, because you'll be dead. It'd be like a win by default.
Fair enough. Bob Marley or Bob Dylan?
Wow. I think I would rather play Bob Marley, you know, because he probably wouldn't even care about the game very much. You know, he would just be hanging out. And then after that, we would just go out and probably party, you know, and have a good time regardless of who won. So I'd have the advantage, and I would have the better night after the game. True,
true. And going to the other spectrum, JayZ or DMX?
See, this is a terrible question because I don't even know rap at all. But I'm going to say JayZ because DMX sounds like some kind of, you know, toxic agent of some sort.
We can go with like Puff Daddy instead of DMX.
Yeah, true. But no, I can stay with DMX because that just sounds scary. Who wants to play somebody named DMX? That just sounds like something bad can happen to you at any moment.
Yeah, fair enough. Ronald Reagan or Mikhail Gorbachev?
I would much rather play with Ronald Reagan because he would just forget. He would forget what he had. He would forget. He'd have to check his cards. You know, when it comes through to a studio, he's got to look, and then he knows he doesn't have to flush, all this kind of stuff. You know, he'd completely forget what was going on in the game, so it'd be pretty easy to, you know, get the chips from him.
Now, this next part is a special Child of the 80s segment.
I can do it.
And it's only for you.
All right.
Optimus Prime or Megatron?
Oh, this is right up my... You know I'm a huge Transformers fan.
I know you're a huge
Okay, I'm a huge Transformers fan. I think that you probably want to play with Optimus, you know, just because he's a straight shooter. He's not going to cheat you. You know, even if it means him losing, he's going to take it that extra step, you know, to just be fair. In Megatron, you know there's going to be like insecticons biting your legs and all kinds of horrible shit like that, so you want to be able to play.
You might be playing for Energon instead of cash.
Exactly, you know.
So that could be odd.
It definitely would be odd, so I'm going to go with Optimus.
Going a little further, Starscream or Bumblebee?
I think logic dictates that you'd rather play Bumblebee, but I'm going to say Starscream because he'd be so prone to tilt, it'd be ridiculous. I mean, you could tilt that kid so fast. He's like the Phil Hellmuth of the Transformer world. You know, so it would be fun just to hear him screaming and going off, you know, for hours at a time.
I just had that image kicking around in my head, and I think you're absolutely right. That'll work out great. Lion-O or Pantera?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I'm going to say I would rather play Lion-O because he's such a hothead. You know, he's always getting in trouble. He would be that guy that's super rash, you know, who would limp with Queen 6, and you'd pick up 2 jacks, put in a big raise, and move it. You know, just hot-headed, just making a mistake at the wrong time. So I'm going to say Lion-O.
He-Man or Skeletor?
I think with this one, just because of the same kind of Optimus Prime characteristics. You know, He-Man is going to be fair to a fault. You know, he's not going to push the edges because he's going to say, oh, I don't know, I'm not comfortable, maybe this isn't right. And you're going to be able to take advantage of that honesty.
All right. Last one, Duke or Flint?
Duke or Flint from Dukes of Hazzard?
No, Duke or Flint from G.I. Joe.
Oh, see, I never was a G.I. Joe.
Oh, yeah, the G.I. Joe. Sure.
Yeah, I'm terrible with those guys. Flint sounds more fun.
Okay. We'll give you a bonus last question. We'll come back to the sports side of things. One that I think would be fun, Dick Vitale or Chris Berman?
It'd be hilarious because it would be like the most unbelievable play-by-play coverage of every hand. You know what I mean? Anything that you did would be sound effects and just brought into like a whole nother world of stuff. I'm gonna say Chris Berman though. I think he's a little more fun. You know, he does my favorite ESPN sound effect, which is when the guy's running and he goes whoop, and when he fumbles and does lots, or when the guy slides through a tackle. So I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with Berman.
What would a Chris Berman all-in sound like?
And he is all in. You know, he's all the way. I mean, he'd have to add something, I guess. You know, he'd have to stick a couple words in there. But knowing Berman, he'd find a way to. I just want to know what kind of nickname he would come up with for me.
That's the point. Yeah, we should stop all the name games on Poker Road and just get a line to Chris Berman.
I know, Chris, right? Just tell him to come hang out with us for a week, and I'm sure he could come up with nicknames for everybody. Easily.
That'll work out.
I would do it. I'd love to have it.
Cool. Well, that's all we've got for right now. Thanks for taking about 10, 15 minutes with us.
Anytime.
And there you go, folks. Joe Sebok.
Right on.